Hey, Randy Joe here, and welcome back to the channel where we today are going to be checking out the brand new Model Actriz album, Pirouette. Now, before we get started, if you are interested in the unedited reaction to this video, go ahead and check out the Patreon down below for $5 a month. You get all my videos unedited, this album included. Now, Model Actriz is a band that kicked off their career back in 2023 with their magnificent, gorgeous, just crushing debut, Dog's Body, a record that cracked my top 10. I think it was my third favorite album of that year, and is still an album that I go back to every now and again. And I love the very crushing, danceable kind of sound that they bring to the table. It's fantastic. Now, of course, today, though, we are checking out their sophomore album, their second album, Pirouette, which came out about a week ago, and I've been meaning to get to it, so today we're going to finally check it out. I'm very excited because I do love this band, and I can't wait to see where they're going to go next. They did drop a few singles off this one, such as Cinderella, which is the only one I think I have given a listen. However, I have not gone back to it much, so I can't really say much on it, so it'll essentially be a first reaction even for that track. So 11 songs, 40 minutes. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get into it with the first song here, Vespers. Here we go, Vespers. Right into it. Waste no time. Already feeling pretty intense. And Cole's deep voice, kind of wavery. Oh, I love the way when they strip something back, it feels so intimate and so urgent, just like leaning you into the sound. But there's such a groove. Kind of got like a Radiohead influence, at least vocally. I love Cole's kind of vocal abilities. He kind of talks more than he does sing. While there certainly is an inflection in his voice that does provide kind of like a singing ability, it almost feels like he is very intimately whispering in your ear. It's got an emo-like fashion. Feels like a little bit of a throwback to its sound. And I love what he brings to the table. Lyrically as well, a great writer. I think Dog's Body was very dense. Oh, love those guitars. Still maintaining that kind of noisy, almost noise rock-like element that kind of makes them compared quite often to Daughters, especially their album You Won't Get What You Want. But in this angle, they certainly still bring a very danceable, a very groovy kind of sound to their music that to me makes Model Actriz one of a kind. It really makes the great appeal, combining noise and dance. Love how blown out that sounds. It's like clipping. Such a soft outro. Beautiful. What a opener. Maybe not as crushing as their opener Donkey Show on Dog's Body, which, you know, is no shade to this track because I think it is incredibly rapid in its sound, has a great sense of urgency, very danceable, of course, while still having that edge that, of course, Model Actriz I feel like is known for already. Cinderella, the first single off this LP. Let's get into it. Which is a pretty popular track. Good for Model Actriz, still clearly making waves. This urgency, I'm loving how fast-paced these two tracks have been already. There's such a rigidness to this plucking.
Preciously sublime.
Feels very rustic.
The way
Oh.
you speak,
Oh.
it makes me want to cry.
Those claps.
Velvet jacket, lined with satin, resting on your father when you're honest. You make
Oh.
me want to be ready.
Oh, I like this delivery.
I feel different now than I did before.
So light.
I can see eyes. I'm naked.
Certainly, Cole here in the lyrics feeling very vulnerable in the eyes of this other, the significant other, perhaps. It's almost like he is completely shedding his confidence and his power, his prowess here for this other.
Like a tornado in the dark. And I notice
Oh,
you are gentle.
I like that almost howl-like sound we had just for a moment there.
And I notice you are gentle.
Very subtle details like that. Mwah. Beautiful.
The way you're. Okay, I'll share this. When I was 5, I remember clearly.
Oh, he's getting quite.
Want to have a Cinderella birthday party, and when the moment came and I changed my mind, I was quiet, alone, and devastated. You make me want to be ready.
What are the meanings of the lyrics here? When he was 5, he wanted a Cinderella birthday party. Perhaps here kind of discussing his sexuality, perhaps, maybe his gender. I know Cole, you know, on their debut, Dog's Body, was a very kind of LGBTQ focused LP, dealt with themes of homosexuality quite in depth. It was a very sexually driven LP as well. And I'm wondering if this is sort of delving in to that sort of mindset, perhaps at a young age, trying to understand himself better. Not too sure. Maybe here he's giving himself to another man. I don't know. This is getting so... This is a massive, just swirling cacophony of noise at this point. Loving it. Absolutely loving it. Madness. Oh, a bit of silence.
I won't leave as I came.
A nice drawback. Wow, wow, wow. Cinderella. That might be one of their best tracks already. I'm calling it now. That is an incredibly well-made, well-structured song. I love the pacing and the development of it as well. The massive swirling sound it has, the lyrics, I think dealing with themes of coming to terms with his sexuality. I believe that's what it is. I could be entirely off base there. But from the lyrics, my interpretation is, Cole fully embracing his homosexuality and really just coming to terms with who he truly is, perhaps becoming vulnerable to this first experience with another man. But I gotta say, loved it. I love everything about that track. I do think Model Actriz is not experiencing what they call a sophomore slump here. They are continuing their streak. I guess it's really not a streak if there's only 2 LPs, but they're on a streak is what I'm saying. Here's Poppy. Let's get into it. Oh my god. Beats you over the head. It's kind of like a 2000s sort of like emo kind of rock sound, I feel like. Very edgy and distorted, but feels much more forward thinking than anything from that time period. Loving what they're doing here, and still sounding as abrasive as ever, if not maybe even more abrasive than what we heard on Dog's Body, because this one right off the bat is throwing you in the deep end, like just punching you.
Of course, the dogs begin to circle me. Their teeth, their jaws. My
Love their
body
use of
in
silence.
its vividness, as flesh is
Great
made
parallels.
marble, as gin glimpses now of snowy beaches, winters.
Probably the most clipped out their sound has ever sounded. It is very bassy, very heavy in its tone. Just, man, this LP is fantastic. Oh, Cole. Reaching that falsetto. Oh my god. Oh, I love that shimmery, slight beauty in the madness here.
Where my tears return as poppies in a field, yeah. Where my tears return as poppies in a field.
Wow, I think Poppy, this track here, Poppy, Cole, his voice feels more, in tune and more confident on this track than it typically does. I feel like he really sings with like a wavery tone that almost feels like he's on the brink of tears in a lot of his tracks. This one, he sings in a way that feels super confident, very kind of full-bodied, I guess you could say. But also lyrically, this track is very dense. I'm not really sure exactly what he is painting the picture of here. Not sure what the personal experiences are. I mean, he's once knew 5375218, really just pointing to a specific, I think, number. I'm not too sure. Perhaps a X of some sort that has changed him. I don't know. This is a very dense track that I feel like could certainly be picked apart and perhaps further delved into for another time. Obviously not now, but loved it. Still, let's keep going. Here's D.Va, another single off the LP. Okay, getting a little off kilter in this plucking. Man, love the drumming on this LP. It's very blown out. A beard, as they say. Love how they really don't shy away whatsoever or even beat around the bush when it comes to sexuality. They are very blunt, in your face, matter of fact about it, which I think is very not necessarily courageous in this day and age. I mean, obviously, people are a lot more out than they used to be, but it does feel like they are kind of approaching it in a way that a lot of artists would still, to this day, be a little bit more subtle about. But Cole, he doesn't waste any time. He is very, very clear about his sexuality, and I think it is very inspiring in a way.
Will you watch my shit while I settle? I'm such a fucking
Getting maybe submissive here? I don't know.
Just imagine me absolutely soaked, dripping head to toe in Prada sport.
Oh,
yeah.
getting quite kinky.
You could call me an operatic diva.
He's a diva, and he knows it.
I'm such a soprano.
Okay, where are we going with this?
You look like a perfect source.
Like that kind of like jingling metallic sound in the background there.
Something more.
Maybe a one-night stand here, despite wanting something more here. Perhaps Cole here is looking for a sense of stability in a relationship, but maybe he's taking these one-night stands to just kind of feed into perhaps his ego, his sort of diva personality. Wow, another fantastic track. Not much to say about that one. I just kind of loved the whole sound that they're going for. It does feel like they are as blown out, as crushing as ever, but perhaps the range is a little bit wider, a wider net this time around. Here's Headlights.
Growing up, I had a friend.
Oh, a short one, which
I haven't seen her in a while.
bit more.
When we were in middle school, I'd walk from mine to hers on snow days, and sometimes we'd ride sleds together in the street.
A lo-fi mix.
We also carpooled a lot and shared a seat on the bus, and in 8th grade, she was the first person I came out to.
8th grade, wow.
I trusted her, but not enough to tell her how my first crush was actually on another friend of hers. I don't remember where she introduced us, but I felt like becoming friends with him as a friend of his friend was too impossible a distance to close without her finding out. I started going to her house more, increasingly so just to wait there in case he showed up. Her family would throw parties often at the holidays, and I would go there wondering if I'd see him again.
Cole is far more vulnerable on this LP than Dog's Body, which is saying a lot. I feel like Dog's Body was already a pretty open LP with his sexuality, but here, talking on a first crush for another gentleman.
Whether it was at Christmas or at New Year's, there would be years he was absent, but I'd still spend those nights hoping his headlights would turn into the driveway. Over time, I started hating him, or I started hating myself. But I hated most how I'd pray each night, asking God to make him see me in all the ways I couldn't.
Wow. Quite like a little bit of a poem, a confession. Very vulnerable, very raw, dripping in self-hate, which, no surprise there given the fact that, many people dealing with their sexuality go through that phase of kind of hating not just themselves, but everything around them. Let's go into Acid Rain. Let's keep it going. This one a bit softer and almost acoustic. Oh, those drums sounding. Those drums as clear as ever. Beautiful. They're in the forefront here, and they are crisp. Kind of laid back in the sound too.
Another, while they come and go, I hover still.
This is a gorgeous track, lyrically and instrumentally. Very sweet, gorgeous, beautiful track. Here, comparing himself to a hummingbird. Here he sits in a garden and using the term hover to describe himself in this garden when hummingbirds, of course, hover. Just some great, simple, poetic lyricism.
To paint me with them, and if I can be another glass
A very sweet kind of track.
lemonade, I'll watch them both evaporate into the summer heat.
How long is he sitting in this garden for if he's seeing both of those completely evaporate? Cole, you're going to get sunburn.
I don't wanna leave you like to listen.
I love that passage. I sing in part because you often told me you liked to listen. Very sweet. This feels like a song very directly written to some individual here. Just gorgeous, this one. Really feels like their prettiest track yet. There's nothing crushing here. There's nothing horrific in its sound like we've come to expect from them. Loving this direction, though. It's such a nice switch up in tone entirely. And here's like this kind of twisted sound coming in the end. Maybe Cole's haunted sort of mind right now. Wow. Acid Rain. Wow. That is a gorgeous track as well. We are getting a full spectrum of model actors here. I feel like we're really seeing them expand their range quite gorgeously. Can't wait to hear more of that. It wasn't a danceable track. It wasn't a crushing, sort of haunted, noisy track either, like we've come to expect from them. Instead, it's just something that feels a lot more personal and sweet, with a sense of melancholy still tied into it. And while there is that haunting, sort of crushing sound that kind of eases in a little bit, perhaps kind of showing Cole's mind amidst this garden, it's still a very luscious and just beautiful track. Here's Departures. We have Album of the Year contender here. I'm going to say that now. We certainly have Album of the Year contender. A few contenders this year for sure, though. Right back into that urgency we've come to expect from them.
I slide into my skirt.
Oh.
Pull the straps around my shoulders. Pull the rouge off.
Getting a little drag, perhaps changing his sexuality, maybe. Maybe a maybe a track kind of suggesting some kind of trans metaphor.
All I want is to be beautiful, like Madden, be embodied well.
Maybe wanting to change their sex to please an interest, a love interest who is perhaps not interested in Cole's gender, that of a man. I'm not too sure. But wants to be submissive, which at this point we know Cole certainly likes to be. No shame in that. Quite religious in tone, Magdalene and Jesus. I'm not sure what the meaning is. I'm not sure how I feel about that one. I think lyrically I kind of enjoyed it, but I do feel like instrumentally that one was a little bit more lost on me. I think it's just, kind of what we come to expect at this point and is not reaching the heights of some of these earlier tracks. Let's go into audience. I do like what they bring to the table still thematically with that one. God damn. I'm still not used to the just piercing sounds of these starts. So metallic and just feels like they're smashing a pan. Still keeping the momentum, of course. Classic sort of dance beat. Oh. Getting, oh my god, Cole screaming in the background there. But we're right back into it. Bro will be having a mental breakdown on these tracks, while in the background you've got the grooviest, just most danceable beat known to man. Like, pick a lane here, Cole. I'm for it, though. Love the way. Oh my god. And it's like that danceability's gone. Oh! Cole's mental anguish is the sacrifice required for such danceable grooves, that's for sure. It's his sacrifice for us. Another fantastic track. Love those peaks, those screams in the kind of chorus. That one's pretty quick too. 2 minutes 55 seconds. Love a quick one. Let's go into the next track, Ring Road. Just 2 minutes. Oh my god, squeaky. Oh shit. Blown out again. Okay, the mix here is fully in the red. Fully in the red in the mix. Like, those drums. Madness is what this is. And I love it. Wow. Oh my god, it's getting worse. Jeez. Oh. I think they have now hit the peak of their crushed out, blown out sound. They certainly cannot outdo that, because that one was, I don't want to say unlistenable, because of course there is much noisier LPs out there, much noisier tracks out there. Looking at, you know, something like Merzbow for the well informed of noise music there. Ring Road, though, from what we've got of Model Actors, that is certainly the noisiest, most abrasive. I enjoy it. However, you know, they kept it short, which is good. That is certainly not something you will be playing around most individuals, or else you will be asked to promptly leave. So let's go into Doves. That one was wild. Another single off this one here. And we're right back into the grooves. A lot of quite a few comparisons to birds throughout this LP, which, as a birding fan myself, you know, I'm here for it. We had hummingbirds on the one track, now we've got doves. Certainly a kind of sense of beauty throughout the lyrics. I like these much softer moments. And this has a huge kind of ramping up sound here. We're going to escalate. I love how this main, whatever that is, that noisy kind of rapid repetition there, love the way it is shifting in pitch and kind of the degree of its rapidness. Right, ready? Right there. It's got a nice escalation and drop. Love the echo of the reverb on Cole. A moment of solace and comfort, perhaps. Dubs is another solid one. I will say, you know, it's still more of what we've come to expect from them. But again, love the escalation. Let's go to the final track here, Baton. Wonder if we're gonna get a nice, maybe quiet one to close it out.
There's nothing to write, while I still can avoid
Again,
exposing what I've experienced.
I think looking back on a relationship once again, perhaps, waiting to live through something meaningful, he claims. I think suggesting that, of course, this relationship was very meaningful, and he had a lot to write about, given the fact that we have not just this album. I think Dog's Body could be argued to be about a similar kind of relationship, or if not the same relationship. Certainly has a lot to write about. Hold on, what are we talking about here? Speaking to his sibling, perhaps. Turns out not about an ex, about a... This is such a wholesome track here, a tribute to his sister. Love that full of love imagery there. Loving this soft ending to the LP. Oh, what a beautiful outro this is. This LP, Model Actress, I should say, has never felt so hopeful and optimistic. And it's so full of love. Yes. This outro. Incredibly wholesome. And that closes it out with a really just sweet, touching tribute to, I believe, his sister. It would seem so, as he talked about crawling on the carpet, laughing with his sister when he was younger, and just really just how much of an impact she has had on his life, which is incredibly sweet and touching to close out the LP. And even that whole outro, even in bringing in the more crushing sound of the blown out sort of drums, it's still very hopeful, very optimistic, very just beautiful, which you don't get a lot of beauty in their LPs. You get some beauty through the madness, but I never feel like it is a full, true kind of beautiful instrumental to match. Whereas that one was fantastic. What a LP. Pirouette. Wow. We have an album of the year contender in my eyes. Acid Rain was one of their best tracks yet. Cinderella was one of their best tracks yet. Baton was one of their best tracks yet. If you're getting what I'm saying here, I feel like they have continued to improve upon their sound. They've taken what they learned from Dog's Body, which was already a pretty fantastic LP. Again, it was one of my favorites of 2023. They took the crushing, noisy, kind of Daughters-esque dance combo, and they've added a lot more, I would say, depth and emotion that makes the LP feel even more refined, even more whole. And you really just get Cole, I feel like, being as open as he's ever been, speaking on his sexuality, on his family, on relationships, on his own, really just identity, his musings of life and perhaps self-loathing to some extent, as well as maybe trying to find a inner confidence. I think this LP is honestly a very full-bodied work. It's fantastic. It's 40 minutes and it flies by. I think what helps that is how rapid a lot of these tracks are. And while I do think tracks like Audience or even Doves do feel like we are at this point kind of getting more of what we've already heard, maybe it's a little bit too derivative of their own sound. It does overstay their welcome, perhaps. I do think they're still solid tracks in their own right. It's just when you have an LP that has those same ideas done a little bit better, it kind of does falter a little bit. That being said, I feel like as I listen to this LP more and more, those two tracks will kind of blend in with the rest and be better appreciated as a full work front to back. Ring Road as well. You know, you like that crushing sound. If you like the noisy sound, they go all the way with it on Ring Road to the point where you start to question if it's even worth it. But at only 2 minutes, at least it doesn't overstay its welcome. So I've got to say, Pirouette, wow, what a incredible LP. I do think Cinderella is probably the best track here, and maybe one of their best tracks in general. But there are a plethora of fantastic tracks here. Acid Rain as well. What a great one with Headlights preceding it. Really just a 1-2 punch. A brilliant LP as far as I'm concerned. But that does it for today's video. If you like the video, please hit like and subscribe to follow along and listening to more LPs. Hopefully down the road, more Model Actriz, I hope. I think they are a band that it needs to be watched right now. They are putting out great LPs, and they are hopefully going to have a nice hot streak down the road as they keep on developing their sound. If you like this video, though, please check out the Patreon down below in the description. You can see this video as well as all my other videos this year unedited for only $5 a month. You get all my videos. It's a lot of videos. I do post a few times a week, or at least attempt to, and those videos will all be unedited, such as this one. So check that out if you are so interested. But as always, my name is Randy Joe. I appreciate you watching, and I'm signing off.